Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manifestation.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
You gotta eat what you kill. You gotta go out there, you gotta hunt for your meals.
We all have that ability to connect with people, to be that motivational person in somebody's life.
You gotta let people know there's certain lines you don't cross and that there's gonna be consequences if you do.
Man up.
If you are an adult and you are in a relationship, that person's emotions are not your responsibility.
Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
The devil, during slavery, destroyed the masculinity or manhood of the so-called Negro. No man. No man. Right now you got to be trained all over again to be a man.
When someone is obligated to do something, it is binding upon them to do it. And failure to do it causes reaction.
Man up.
Well, you shall make you rich. I don't have that type of richness. My richness is life forever.
If that people knew their glorious past, if that people knew their glorious past, if that people knew their glorious past, then they would be more inclined to respect themselves.
I'm not saying I'm going to rule the world or I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world. And that's our job, is to spark somebody else watching us.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manifestation.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
You want to tell me about yourself? Go get your friends. I'll tell you who you are based on who your friends are.
Don't just live and die. That's an ugly existence. Make your life matter, make your life count. Live a life where people can actually mourn you for the things you left behind, not just because you were around and existed.
We need strong black nuclear family.
Yes, yes.
That's what it is. Mother, father, son, daughter, all in the same house with a focus on the family unit as a whole.
We had Tulsa, Atlanta, New Jersey, Detroit. We had Rosewood. We had Black Wall Streets all over.
The Republicans aren't for us, but the Democrats aren't for us either. And we should have no alliance to any political party. We only have alliance to what is in our own best interest.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manifestation.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
At the end of the day, as men in the community, we must stand together and be counted, because people look to us for guidance, leadership, and protection. And if we are not about that business, we are not on our job. Here we have grown-ass man conversations in the spirit of that purpose. Anthony Malcolm, Bobby Drake, Major Gage. We are. This is Manifestations 2020.
Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Oh yeah, what's good, fam? What's cracking?
Yo.
Yeah, all right. It's all about the you. All right, we see you over there, Bobby Drake. All right, that's how you feel. Okay, that's what's up. I support that. I support.
You know what time it is. You know what time it is.
You know, I'm from Miami, so I low-key gotta support. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if I'm not,
yes, sir.
I'm more of a Florida State guy, but I can't root, against them when you got you know, foreigners in here trying to invade our territory. You dig?
Respect. That's internal beef, but against all outsiders.
Yeah. Right? That's it. That's what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, the Niners went down yesterday, so you know, y'all got to get together, guys.
That was horrible.
They got mollywopped. I mean, I still love them, but damn, bro, like it was demoralizing.
I don't know if you saw that. I said it to all the other Niner fans I know, but I actually forgot to send it to you. But I don't know if you've heard. I don't know how much of it is fact, how much of it is fiction, but there's a little bit of urban legendary sliding around that apparently, inadvertently, there's a bit of I don't want to say a curse, but there's a bit of an unspoken enemy working against y'all franchise. Mm-hmm. So apparently the San Francisco 49ers practice field is located right next to us. I don't mean across the street. I'm talking about almost damn near like a back alleyway set up next to a power grid or power plant or whatever.
Yeah,
and supposedly the suggestion is that the ultra low frequency radiation, I can't remember exact type of radio signals being released, but supposedly they're saying that might be having a direct impact on certain elements of the human body, including collagen and everything else, and that might be responsible for breaking down or at least weakening some of the players' bodies. Mm-hmm. And it sounds like nonsense because, you know, when niggas talk about how, you know, all these other things are radio signals, whatever. Yeah. But they were looking at the metrics, and according to the metrics, the San Francisco 49ers over the past decade have been single-handedly the most injury-prone franchise in the league. And based on the numbers, and not the numbers, but the rates of injuries and the kind of injuries, they're saying it ain't even close.
Yeah, it's we're top two top two or top three every year. And it's been since we've been at that facility, and I think there's something to that shit. They're gonna have to change that facility just in case.
You feel me? The thing is now, because you know we're talking about a lot of millions, but it might not be up to them because apparently it's reaching to a point now where the players have been aware of it, and it's making sense to them. And a lot of them are even talking about having their agents reach out and making that a factor of their contract negotiations. Yeah. If not, saying, hey, no matter what we do, I don't care if it's a salary cut or whatever. Mm-hmm. Let's either try to not go to San Francisco or let's go ahead and get this deal clipped. Whatever it is, we'll even sacrifice money. That's what it takes to not play here if this means that the career is going to get short-circuited. So I just thought that you might want to look into that or be aware of that.
It's real.
I'm glad.
6 ways to Sunday. It's real. And people do suspect there's a correlation. I mean, dude, we played Philly. I was shocked out of my wits that we beat them. We're down 16 starters. They got all their starters. We were down 16 starters. That's more players than there is on any one side of the ball at any given time.
That's wild business. That's wild.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that point up because that pretty much ties into the base element of the show tonight. Because I think one of my talking points for tonight is going to be about how history plays a big factor on getting shit straight. And when you're checking somebody, you got to make sure that you know what the fuck you're talking about when you're checking somebody, because we grasp too much straws trying to gravitate to people thinking that they're doing something when they're really not. So going back to that whole situation with the 49ers, I saw, what's his name? Chad Ochocinco and your boy Shannon Sharp having that conversation. And Shannon Sharp was telling them, hey, man, you know, that whole situation going down, you know, with the power plant is something serious. And then Ocho was like, man, you know, I've been healthy my whole league, throughout the whole league. I ain't never had no problems like that. And so he was like, okay, would you ever live by a power plant? And he said, nah. He was like, why? He was like, nah, I just wouldn't live by one. And I thought that conversation needed to go deeper because if you understand environmental racism, which Black people get affected heavily by, the studies by it is that a lot of Black families live by power plants, and radiation has been a big Achilles heel against Black folks living by those radioactive fields. So I thought that Ocho making a small, joke about it when it's really a bigger, deeper problem that I think I'm glad that they brought that up so we can have a bigger conversation on that on multiple platforms, not tonight, but multiple platforms. So I definitely wanted to at least stress that part of it when I heard it.
Fair enough. All right, Bobby Drake, what you got?
Oh, no. My bad, dog. I didn't know that you was going. No, I just wanted to say something real quick. I thought you was I ain't get to say what I wanted to say real quick. My bad. Hey, all right. No. I just want to say something real quick. There was a guy, Paul Thames. I Googled his last name. It's a European origin. So a lot of times you have a lot of immigrants over there, especially people from my country that go to England or named England because Jamaica was run by England. So our independence was taken from us and owned by England, and we got back our independence from England. So, a lot of migrants, even from Africa, they go to England and they live in England. So a lot of people from the diaspora and the Caribbean islands go to England. So this guy, Paul Thames, 29 years old, was charged with an injury to a child and third-degree felony after severely beating this child in front of a Ring camera. Not sure if you guys saw that, but the way he picked that child up and choked him by his neck like that, the shit triggered me so bad, man, because we have so many dudes that's out here off fucking code, man. And the shit made me so fucking mad. Somebody like that needs to be under the fucking jail cell. And I don't give a fuck if his family members is watching this or get a clip of this. The nigga is garbage, straight up garbage.
Agreed.
One more thing. The Panther Party. Shout out to Fred Hampton Jr. for pushing back on that bullshit shit. Some dude that supposedly supposed to be representing the Panther Party. Not sure if he's black, light-skinned, or Hispanic, but he started saying some bullshit about Fred Hampton putting in the coalition of the Rainbow Coalition to make it seem like that was the reason we should be out here fighting and going against ICE and all this other stuff. And Fred Hampton Jr. was like, no, our organization ain't about that. We're not about lethal force going against ICE officers. That ain't what we do. Our organization was to help the justice of the people that needed the voice, which are the low-income black people. That's what we started this organization for. So for him to sit back and say all that stuff and not correctly utilizing the real information of what the Rainbow Coalition that Fred Hampton Jr. started and Bobby Lee managed, when you look into the organization, it was also poor whites part of that Rainbow Coalition as well, poor migrants at that time, who Panther Party had so much power at that time that even the racist poor whites that they were helping, they end up giving away, or I would say they end up not wearing their Confederate flag out of respect because they knew that these Negroes were helping them when nobody else was giving them a chance. So I think the correct and correct narrative needs to be held when it comes to that. And I just don't want people to see that side of it and don't know the real history, especially somebody making YouTube videos, being in that specific situation, talking bullshit rhetoric about an organization that has been the concrete, solid foundation of America.
Okay, fair enough. All right, that up. Bobby Drake, what you got before we get into it? Yo.
Oh no, man, that was I just thought that was interesting, and I was also thinking about the same thing you were thinking in regards to environmental racism. Even though this is a multi-million-dollar facility, what have you, it doesn't affect Black people per se, at least not directly in that regard. But just a case of publicizing these issues, because a lot of these things we talk about, how white supremacy and racism affects the 10 areas of people activity. When we talk about these different things, whether it's the medical racism, whether it's the educational racism, or even the environmental racism, a lot of the times people kind of downplay it or act like it doesn't make a difference, or like we don't know what we're talking about, or they make the goofy jokes or the tinfoil hat remarks and everything. But as usual, it's not until it affects the dominant society or it occurs in a very visible, inescapable manner, that people start to take note of it and realize, oh, that's the thing. And I don't believe that Ocho was butt dancing when he made that remark or what have you. I think he, like a lot of other people, like most people rather, are very ill-informed about that kind of thing.
Correct.
And I'll be the first to tell you that, yeah, it does sound goofy. Like, really, man, the radio waves, is that what it is? That's what's doing. I agree. It sounds goofy until you actually dig deeper. The problem is many people, unfortunately, that's some of us included, when it comes to things that adversely affect us, we don't have a sense of urgency. We have a sense of disregard. We downplay it. It's no big deal. We take the mindset the dominant society has of, oh, you know, these N-words, they're complaining again. They're always complaining, you know, pull yourself by the bootstraps, blah, blah, all this nonsense. But when it happens to people who are more visible, whether it's because of economics or because of their racial standing, then it becomes, hey, did you know that such a thing? Yeah, right. Oh, you mean like the radio waves that's been affecting Harlem, or that's been affecting black parts of Dallas or Florida, whatever? You mean that kind of racism? Oh, yeah, oh, yeah, exactly. So this, I think, definitely works as a good teachable moment, as they're starting to take that seriously and it's starting to affect wealthy, dominant society members' bottom lines. Hopefully this will create awareness in general, and when these things are brought up as points of contention in terms of zoning for housing, specifically that affects us, we can point to these things. Now we have a clear-cut example where we can say, well, XYZ, if it's good enough for them to act on, it's also good enough for it to be acted on for us as well, too. Hopefully there's less foot dragging and resistance to that, where that's concerned from. But just want to toss that out there. And again, the perpetual recurring theme for me gotta be, it's all about you.
Finish the job. Finish the job.
Damn right.
Finish the job. Yeah, facts. We'll see what it do.
Nails in the coffin, baby. Let's go.
We'll see what it do. It's looking good so far. It's looking good. We might get there. Let's see what's up, you know? All right. So without further ado, let's get on into it, man. For those that don't know, if you've been living under a rock somewhere, Corey Holcomb and Anton Daniels got into it this week, and the ramifications have been just reverberating all over the web, all over the world. I had one of my cousins in Africa hit me up about it. I mean, it's everywhere. I'm like, damn, he don't hit me up about nothing. He's like, yo, you know what I'm saying? What's up? Yo, he was like, he's like, I saw a coon. You tell me about coon. I saw a coon. I was like, yeah, that is what you are talking about? Yes, that's what I'm talking about. You know
ding,
what I'm
ding, 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 ding. Winner, winner, Jollof dinner.
Facts. You know what I'm saying? And so I found it, you know, it was a very interesting exchange. A lot of people are talking about Anton, you know, this like anything else, you know, there's layers to understanding responses. And you know, a lot of people, oh, team Anton, a lot of people are team Corey, this, that, and the third. I didn't really find any of that particularly interesting or valuable. I wanted to focus on other things that people missed in their interaction. There's definitely some lessons that I feel that can be learned as far as manhood and how it is asserted, you know, as far as etiquette when you go into someone else's quarters or whatever the case may be, when you go into hostile territory, coming in with a hidden agenda. I saw a lot of different themes there that I wanted to address and talk about, but I think that one of the only ways to talk about it is to talk about it. So I got a few clips I'm going to run through, and then, you know, I'll get y'all's feedback on the other side, and we'll see what it do. First things first, we're going to talk about it right here. Let's do it.
About being in the streets, that don't count to me. I don't
Well,
hear
that's
that
what
shit.
should count.
I don't hear that
because
shit.
out there in the streets where the people live that you helping, they could get pulled over and shot by a cop, and an investigation will be said. But here's the truth. We know, if I believe you know this already, when the cops shoot you, ain't nothing you can do about it.
Oh my God, this is so crazy.
Do you think that's wrong? What I said?
This is so insane.
Is that what I said? I said when the cops shoot you, ain't nothing you can do about it.
This
Is that a lie?
This is so insane.
But you didn't answer it. Like,
I'm gonna answer your question.
Okay.
I'm gonna answer your question. It depends on the circumstance. And the interesting thing about it is this: the majority of the people, because you.
Okay, so that's okay.
You like to use a blanket statement. That's like me saying all black people are stupid.
Why is this thing freezing?
Well, have you said all white people stupid?
No, I'm talking about cops.
You should say that one time.
I'm talking about
because
cops.
I think we're picking up interference from the Cooniverse.
Easy to say all black people are stupid as an example. Say something about the white people.
No. You're not.
I don't think.
Really? Okay.
You white people all the time.
Oh, well, I didn't hear you. Can you tell me? Because I
talk
don't
about
know.
liberal
I hear
white
you
women
talking about
literally being the.
Good Lord. I don't know why the internet's acting up tonight of all nights. This is important.
The biggest enemy of the United States of America. That's the thing I say every single day.
Caucasian female, the biggest enemy.
Literally.
Wow. Hold on.
Liberal women are the worst thing that ever happened to this country.
What about their men?
But we gonna get there because you keep trying to get me to qualify it by participating and joining in on the court.
I think you're doing what's easy.
No. I'm doing what's real.
I think you don't want to go against them because if you go against them, it'll be some video of you going against them. And when I say them, I'm talking about your boss.
I don't have a boss.
Mm-hmm. We say that. We say that, but here's the truth.
I don't have a boss.
It's a reason you go after black males or black people quicker than you will go after white males. What are white males responsible for in this country as the downfall of it?
I'm an equal accountability smoke giver.
Okay.
I talk about everybody.
Okay, so that's just the first little piece. And Anton, this is what really started. Everybody kind of starts that. Oh, the dick sucking part, and then they get into the dick sucking, and whatever the case may be. I went on Didi's reactions earlier this week. I'm gonna put up the clip to that a little later and do a little analysis on the clip that we put up. But everybody is overlooking, or very few people are talking about the fact that when Corey, the whole dick sucking thing came from a broader conversation that came before that. And I think that conversation was a lot more important because you start talking about, the type of people that are in these spaces out here and the type of imagery that they're putting out. And I thought it was very important to get that piece because that is what the actual conversation was about. That is what the actual beef was about. The fact that Anton Daniels is one of these people. By according to Corey, and if you know Anton, you know this to be true. He's one of these people that kind of gets out here and is always caping for white supremacists when they harm a black person. He's like one of those people. Oh, Trayvon Martin was a thug. He one of them niggas. You understand what I'm saying? He's one of those people that George Floyd died of a fentanyl overdose. There's always some excuse as to why something is okay. Why it was okay for a black person to be harmed, or why it wasn't really that bad. I have some examples of that I can show you. A lot of people, again, they're talking about how they like or dislike this person or that person. That's neither here nor there. It doesn't matter. The point of the matter is, and a person who is being used by white supremacist society against black people was being called out. And everybody's overlooking that. And that is something that almost never happens. You never see people really call out Larry Elder or Candace Owens or what's the other guy, Jason Whitlock. He just went on Jason Whitlock's show, by the way. That tells you everything you need to know. You understand what I'm saying? That was one of the most important things to me because you may like Corey, you may not like Corey, whatever the case may be. I thought it was important to see someone actually call out these type of Negroes because no one ever does, and they end up infecting black society because everybody just, gives them a pass. and let them just talk and say all kind of reckless bullshit. And so I thought that was important. That was the beginning of it. I have the other clips as it goes further. What y'all got on that before I go to the next one?
I think it's bullshit that you say that nobody calls those people out. We got Jason Black, we got Professor Truth, we got Tariq Nasheed, we got all these people that be out here calling these type of people out. There's even people that aren't even that don't have a powerful platform like that calls Anton out. I know about Anton way before this whole situation blew up. That's why I told you on the post, fuck both of these niggas, to be quite honest. And if we're having an honest conversation about it, then why isn't somebody more qualified calling that nigga out like that? See, I get more respect, or I'll give this person more respect, like a Tariq, if Tariq had to sit down with him and called him out. But you can't send one of your weakest representative of people that like us, that call people out and hit motherfuckers in their mouth with factual shit, to make motherfuckers curl up in their fucking cave and go back in. Like, you punch a bitch in his mouth and he run haul ass. Mm-hmm. What Corey did, he ain't do shit to really prove nothing. That was a whole debacle that just fell apart, because now you even got people that roll with Corey that is saying that Corey is on some flaw shit. They like, yo, I fucks with Corey, but that shit was flaw as fuck. So if you don't do it right, if you don't do it at strategic way, it will fuck up and backfire what you're trying to do. And I think that's the bigger picture that a lot of people are missing, is that it didn't hit right. It was a failed assassin attempt.
I can agree with that. I can agree. I agree that Corey, had he been more equipped to really get into depth on the issue, I think he would have ethered that dude. But
no. Because I got shit right here. If you want to break the shit down, I got shit right here that Corey said some dumb shit to the nigga and did not fucking, he didn't even hear the talking. Dog, how the fuck you agree with somebody? You agree with this nigga a lot of times about dumb shit. Like, you sit back and let a nigga tell you that the Atlantic trade slave is the reason why we had slaves over here in fucking US. Like, what type of dumbass nigga is ignorant enough to co-sign Anton's dumbass rhetoric, talking points with the Charlie Kirks and the and what's the other, the bedwench bitch, Candace Owens? This nigga's using those talking points. And if you really look at it, when they had the exchange, you could hear when Anton said, if you listen to it, he says, I really don't know in details like that, because that nigga uses talking points, basic talking points, that a real motherfucker with facts can destroy his whole fucking argument. And that's why I said it was fucked up for him to be the front runner to go at this dude, because he's not factually input for him to put this nigga in his place. And that's what made me mad about the situation.
I can agree with what you're saying to an extent. I mean, there were things that, I don't think that either one of them made any. Anton embarrassed himself by making these points that don't exist. I get it. He didn't call him out on that. I understand what you're saying. But to your other point, you named Tariq, Jason Black, Professor Black, Truth, us, and about 2 or 3 other people. Like I said, there ain't enough people calling those type of people out. Shout out to them. Shout out to us. We doing it. But you know how many black media figures are out here? There are thousands of black media figures out here, and none of them are saying anything. So I was surprised to see Corey Holcomb really challenge him like this. And even though he didn't go into depth in the way that he could have went into depth, or whatever the case may be, I get that. I agree with that. But just the fact that he did call him out for that is his spiel. That is what he does professionally. He is a professional white ass kisser. I haven't heard anybody that he went on their show, and like most of the people he goes on their show, he carefully selects the people. He carefully selects the people that are on his panel. Everybody's always kissing his ass. Nobody ever really challenges him on anything. And just to hear somebody at least give that much and just kind of expose to the people, or even put the idea out there that that's who this guy is. He's really a wolf in sheep's clothing. That was refreshing for me, because every time I hear Anton, I hear a bunch of people kissing his ass. Literally every time. He's on a panel, it's a bunch of people kissing his ass, talking about how smart he is. What I'm saying is at least he challenged him. And like I said, neither of them were particularly astute on the topic or whatever the case may be. But I like the fact that he did at least challenge him, and he did. That is a true fact. You know, he didn't go into the meat and potatoes of all the specific things that he does. That's another conversation. But the part of the video that everybody's discussing and that we are discussing, that's just him calling him out on being who he is and making that very valid point. I don't think that's an L at all. Yeah, I think that was necessary.
I don't see it as a W either, and I'm not grasping for straws on something like that.
I understand where you're coming from. I get it. You know what I'm saying? But this is like all of us, like I said before, everybody out here ain't like us. You know what I'm saying? Everybody out here is not on that higher level of, okay, we can really confront people and we can debate them with facts, whatever the case may be. Sometimes you just got to call out the basics and you got to let that have legs. Now people are going to start to look into this dude. I know people who hit me up. They're like, okay, damn, I thought dude was cool. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people thought Anton Daniels was legit. They don't think what you think. And just the fact that someone is calling him out and now people are starting to question him, I consider that some type of progress towards where we need to be. Bobby, then we go to the next clip.
Absolutely. No, I definitely feel where you're coming from with that. I definitely feel you on that. Mm-hmm. When I was watching it, because I saw it, I didn't see it in real time because Corey typically goes on in the evenings. Their studio is based out in LA, so usually they go on, I think, about 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock their time. So by the time they're running live, it's late at night, and usually I have a whole bunch of other stuff to do, so I'm not even thinking about that. I usually catch up at work in the mornings or in the afternoons, listen to his stuff, whatever. Mm-hmm. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's going to be interesting. I already knew it. And I guess the word already went out because I was listening in the morning. I usually don't listen to this stuff until the afternoon, but I was listening in the morning after I got my news, my other headlines and stuff out the way.
Yeah.
And I looked at the comments and I was laughing because they were talking about, God dang, these damn content creators already got response videos already to the thing.
Crazy.
Like they wasn't even 20 minutes in, they were already getting response to going and everything. So
I can't do that.
The Sharks knew blood was in the water when they saw those names, rightfully so. But the key thing, and this is, if you know and understand who Anton Daniels is, who he really is,
mm-hmm.
then as soon as you heard him say this one thing in the beginning introductory phases of
mm-hmm.
him being there, he said, I studied you. As soon as I heard that, I'm like, okay, that's what he came on this type of time for.
Mm-hmm.
And I like Corey. I like Corey. He's a solid dude. I know he's definitely an acquired taste for some. I can see why some people wouldn't like him.
Yeah.
Doesn't hit with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But what I saw from what I heard, it sounded like he was trying to go ahead and have a good faith conversation. He was trying to have a proper debate with him.
He was.
And I believe he said that.
Audio. Who? Bobby or me? Anthony froze.
He said audio. I can't. It must have been his audio.
Go ahead. He'll come back on.
Yeah, but he basically said that he was trying to go forward.
Who's audio? Oh, you can't. Can you hear me, Bobby?
Loud and clear. You froze up on us, brother.
I can hear. I think it's you, Ed, because I can hear Bobby and Bobby can hear me.
Yeah, you were freezing before.
You were frozen before. Try to log out and come back in, brother.
I can't hear y'all.
Go out and come back in.
Oh, go out and come back in?
Yeah. I think it's you. It's your ass. All right, go ahead, Bobby. Go ahead, Bobby.
But yeah, so he's talking about he's possibly going forward because typically the platform of his format or the format of his platform, is himself. He has just two co-hosts. He has Darlene, who's been there forever, and then currently is brother Craig Smith, aka Greg Fax, salute his brother.
Mm-hmm.
And he's talking about going forward to having a couple guests on there, including people who he doesn't necessarily agree with, but they're trying to have a debate and try to meet in the middle, try to expand, make up the intelligence of the conversation, which I applaud him for, which is dope.
I respect that. Yeah.
The issue with that is, I think in this case, the problem was guest selection. Because Anton, as much as I despise him, he's a dyed-in-the-wool buck dancing Sambo.
Yes, he is.
But I will always give the devil his due, no matter what. Anton Daniels, for all the negative things you can say about him, that is, and as Corey himself picked up on, that is a smart mofo, but particularly, he's crafty. He's cunning. He's not just book smart intellectually. He's a cunning little mofo. He's a conniving one.
Yeah,
So he said it right there, I studied you. So from that point, I knew off top, and I was waiting to see when it was go down. He did not come on here with the same intentions that Corey had.
Nah.
Corey came in good faith trying to have a conversation with somebody that he fundamentally disagreed with.
Right.
But we're looking to get to the middle and really have a sound intellectual discourse and debate. Anton came on for clickbait.
Correct.
He came on to stir the pot. He knew what acupressure points to hit, all the wushu Mr. Miyagi stuff. He knows how to come in there and all that nonsense. And sure enough, he did it.
Yeah, he did.
And he knew where to hit him, and he was ultimately trying to get it to where it went ultimately, where he told him straight up that you suck the African community, the African American community's Johnson.
Yeah.
And he said that as a follow-up when Corey called him out as being a white ass kisser.
Right.
And he went to the next level. Ass kissing and kissing ass, it's never been considered politically correct. But that is a widely accepted and embraced term in multiple levels. You can be kissing somebody's ass on the street. You have corporate ass kissers, brown noses, all that.
Right.
That is a colloquialism, even though it is disrespectful.
Right.
It is a widely embraced and normalized colloquialism to address a certain type of behavior.
Right. It ain't that serious.
There is no similar lexicon that has been embraced at a street level or professional level where you can say, you're a Johnson sucker.
Yeah, yeah.
It does not exist.
Right.
Even if the context is accurate and correct, you say to anybody, man, you need to stop ass kissing, man. Your mom ass kissing, whatever. You tell somebody, hey, you glucking, it's going to get quiet for a few seconds.
Yeah.
And what happens next is anyone's guess. And he knows that Corey is very adamant about defending and upholding masculinity and the sacredness of that, which is something else that I give Corey big credit for that old school thing. Because as we understand, masculinity is under attack. We talk about it on this platform all the time.
Yeah.
Corey believes that. Corey bucks back against that. And he's also of the old school mindset where certain things he's going to let a lot of things slide. But like you mentioned, itemized. Attacks on his manhood and masculinity, especially when he's really built a brand on that as well, too. That simply can't be allowed to fly.
Right.
But again, this is a dude, talk about Anton Daniels, who believes in Pyrrhic victories.
Yeah.
He believes in the kamikaze attack. He doesn't mind chopping off his hand if he thinks he can get your elbow at the end.
He's a reckless, grifting little bitch. That's what he is.
Yeah. And also, as we pointed out, he really you can tell he did everything for the debater. He wasn't trying to debate anything for real. Because all the stuff that about black people, and Corey was very spot on about calling these things, the only problem is he let that attack from Anton completely derail him. If he could have stayed the course, peeped that in advance, and kept cool, or found another way to diffuse that, I think that what Ant was pointing out could have been salvaged, but there could have been some real gems out there because he had them initially. He was not trying to touch anything related to white men. If you wanted to call out white women, he was cool with that. If you want to talk about politics, he was cool with that.
Liberal white women.
Liberal white women. But as soon
as
he
attack the conservatives that are paying him, you did?
Conservatives and or white people, white men most of all, he made it clear that's why I'm pogo sticking.
Yeah.
And so he made sure he was gonna hey, I see that y'all trying to drill down. Corey's asking some solid stuff. The other folks who aren't on camera are asking some solid stuff that makes sense. I can't really butt heads with them.
Yeah.
Couldn't do that. They tried to go and rope other people in as well. They tried to go and do some COINTELPRO nonsense with Craig and Darlene, kind of get the whole camp to kind of cannibalize itself, whatever.
Sick. It was pretty sick, man. Like,
but
it was disgusting. Who does that? You know what I'm saying?
Bottom feeders like Anton Daniels do. That's who.
Facts. And that's my issue. Like I said, you know, my broader understanding, because I've been talking to people, like people in real time, people in the street, and a lot of people, they was really fucking with Anton, and they didn't realize he even had that side to him. Because what happens with people like that, you know, they have their, I believe, they have their people that are secretly funding them, right? And they have the smoke screen issues, which I think is like dating and relationships, right? The smoke screen issue that they always talk about, you know what I mean? And so people forget about the cooning because they got the dating and relationship shit. I don't think people have put together there's a correlation between all these manosphere dudes and cooning. You got Myron Gaines doing it. You got Anton Daniels doing it. You understand? You got what's the other one? Even Larry Elder and there's a correlation between the two. These guys that fake talk about all these man issues under the guise of being, about men and talking about male culture and looking out for the brothers. You out here cooning. It's a pattern at this point, and we should have picked up on it. And the fact that he brought that out on such a huge platform was a big deal. Let me go to the next clip here and talk about this. I thought this was also very interesting. It picked up a little bit, and they're going to talk a little bit more about the racial element. And then I'm going to play some things to kind of give you an idea of who Anton is and why Corey went there on him. But check this out.
I ain't heard you talk about white men since you've been up here.
You ain't been listening. You ain't been listening.
I've been listening to you.
No, you haven't.
I hear you
You
taking
don't have the capacity to be able to listen because you're too busy.
No. You got me wrong.
You too busy.
My capacity that you just criticized, that's an opinion. Here's the fact. Have you said something about Caucasian males and how they destroy this nation? Well, what did I miss?
Let's slow down because you talking loud, but you're not saying a lot.
No, you talking loud, and you still talking around. What did the Caucasian male do to America to bring it down?
I'm not getting into that.
You dancing around it, and that's why I lose respect for you when you start dancing and kissing Caucasian males.
But I don't.
Don't do that in front of me because I'm not a kisser of nobody.
Yes, you are. You suck the dick of black people right now. You doing the easy shit. What you do, let me tell you what you do.
Nah, let me tell you something, homie.
Ain't nobody gonna tell you.
I don't
ain't
suck
nobody gonna tell you. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
So fix
you doing
that.
it right now.
I don't suck dick, homie.
You doing it right now.
Homie, believe me when I tell you. I don't do that.
I tell you.
I don't do that.
Listen.
So don't come at me with no sucking shit.
I'm gonna give you the same energy you give me.
Let's switch seats.
Let's switch seats. I'm with it.
Homie, I don't do no sucking shit. I'm a man. I don't do no sucking shit.
I don't give a fuck about none.
Well, I tell you what. Watch that dick sucking shit, because that'll go bad.
Call it what you want.
I don't do no dick sucking,
You
homie.
say a lot of shit that I don't fuck with either. You
okay, but that gay shit. Oh, you
I don't give a fuck about what you talking
Hey, homie,
about.
I tell you what.
I'm right here.
Don't put no dick sucking shit. Don't put no dick sucking shit on me.
I'm from Detroit.
Say
right
I
now.
suck a dick again.
I'm right here, right now.
All right, that's what I'm saying.
I'm gonna respect you.
Dance around it. Dance around it.
No. I'm gonna
I don't do no sucking shit.
I'm gonna respect you because it's your platform, and I flew out here to have a conversation.
We good.
But you not bossing up on me.
Yo,
we good. I did already. I don't do
Put the microphone right down, right now, and go on my back. I don't give a fuck about this shit.
Homie, you just running your mouth.
I'm not running my mouth.
You running your mouth. I don't do no
doing this for the internet. You doing it for the internet. Now, if you want to say your time, no, hold on. If you want to
I'll
say
show you I ain't doing it for the internet. I'm just saying.
So, yeah, a couple things about this particular clip. Okay, we gonna talk about this. You know what I'm saying? Because I really want to drive this home. How this all was like a setup to me. You know what I'm saying? Like Corey's making his point, whatever the case may be, and like you said, Bobby. He said, "Oh, well, you kiss white ass, whatever the case may be," and then Anton goes and he automatically goes to kind of a SMD type of, comment or whatever the case may be. Listen, this is part and parcel of proof that you don't hang around no black people. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of these coons that get out here and they push these white agendas on black society, you can tell that they don't hang around no black people by the shit they say. You know what I'm saying? You say that he said that. I do believe that he said that to trigger Corey. I don't think that he really understands the level of seriousness behind it. Niggas can die behind saying some shit like that.
Yeah.
You in LA. You know what I'm saying? And Anton, since he released this video, he's been out here acting like he's the Suge Knight of goddamn podcasting. Oh, I had him shaking like a stripper. I'd have whooped his ass. I said, nigga, you wasn't gonna do shit. You understand what I'm saying? You wasn't gonna do a motherfucking thing. And the whole point of the matter is, you a nerd, you got a little following, you got your little money that you're getting. Roll with that. You know what I'm saying? Because what he's going to end up doing if he keeps talking, because, you know, Craig Fax responded and some of the other homies out in LA are, you know, getting feelings, and it's like, you're going to mess around and get to the point where you're not going to be able to go back to LA. I used to live out west. Living out west is like living in another country to a nigga who ain't never lived there before. You understand what I'm saying? You can't just... And the word on the street is he was supposed to be there for a week. According to Craig, he booked the flight back the next day. You understand what I'm saying? So, but he's not telling you this part of the story, whatever the case may be. He's really out here acting big and bad. And it's just not a good look. I don't think that Corey wanted to hit him. Corey said he didn't want to hit him. But I know, like I know my last name, if he would have said that shit about dick sucking again, he would have it would have went left. That's all I'm gonna say. Because the
devil knows who to try.
The devil
knows exactly who to try. He knew it.
He gave, and people see shit and then they don't see shit, right? They see what they want to see. When Corey was on the other side of the room, he said, I don't, do that, whatever. And he said, yes, you do. Yes, you do. You're doing it right now. He was talking all that shit. When he was in front of him, first of all, you're not going to act like you're big and bad, because the fact that this man came over there and got that close to you and got up in your face and started yelling at you at the top of your lungs and dared you to say something.
Not just that. Did you see, he didn't just sit next to him. Did you see how close they were? Literally, there was about a microphone hand's width between them.
That alone was you getting marked out, dude. Let's not try to rewrite history.
And then Anton tried to switch it up again, talking about, we can take it outside right now. And Corey Corey said straight, like, we ain't gonna take it outside right now. We both gotta go out the same way we're leaving. And he's like, oh,
not only that,
took all the air out of it.
Look, Anton is there with armed security, from what I understand. You understand what I'm saying? He mentioned that he had security. He didn't mention that his security was armed, but apparently his security was armed. You understand? First of all, you come into an interview and we supposed to be cool. Why you got armed security? But okay, we can play devil's advocate, say, hey, he just don't know he's in LA. Shit could go left at any time, fine. Okay. But when it gets crazy to me is when you get up, you try to act like you big and bad. You get up and you walk off saying, let's go outside, expecting this man to follow you. And dumbass niggas in the comments talking about, yeah, well, he said, let's go outside and he ain't get up. Goofy nigga. You don't follow anybody outside that's being aggressive towards you. You don't follow them anywhere, dumb nigga. That's not how that works. And so you got a bunch of game goofy niggas out here, acting like Anton is their hero. I'm not saying either of the men won or either of the men is a hero per se. But just looking at the optics of it, it looked really bad. But Corey was right about what he was saying. I'm going to point that out again. Other parts of the conversation, it's way too deep to even address in, this type of format or whatever. But what Corey was saying in that part of the conversation, he was 100% correct about. And Anton, in true coon fashion, deflected into some other bullshit instead of addressing what Corey was talking about. And like you said, Bobby, he didn't stick with it. So I blame him for that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. What y'all think on that portion?
Go ahead, Bobby, because I know you want to follow up and co-sign it real quick.
Why you had to say it like that?
No, I'm just saying I'm going to let y'all go ahead and get y'all, because y'all looking at it from one angle, so I'm letting y'all just go ahead.
And that's why we want your angle coming up afterwards as well, too. That's why, because we like coverage right here.
It flows better when y'all two go follow each other.
No, it doesn't. No, you can come right now.
No. Go ahead, man. Good. Dog, Austin Powers mini me. Go ahead, dog. That's the flow.
That ain't what's going on. Let's just keep it a buck, and you don't like Corey, and that's why you in your feelings like that.
I don't. It's not the fact that I don't like Corey, and y'all trying to make it seem like I just don't like Corey. Corey is a low. If we have a fucking brand, dog, we have a brand, dog. You are a brand. Bobby's a brand. I'm a brand.
I agree.
We don't fuck with niggas that think like that. So when you have two low energy niggas talking, it doesn't do anything for me. That's why I'm like, y'all talking points is y'all talking points. I just told you. You sat back and said I'm clickbait. I read the whole. I watched the whole shit, and the shit that I'm breaking down here ain't the shit that you playing. So my mentality is, if we're gonna do something about talking about the interaction, I'm gonna let y'all talk about the toughing up and beefing up on niggas. Like, that's cool, fine, y'all talk about that. But what I'm talking about is, if you bring somebody that's a coon on your platform, I take shit personal, because I have coons and I have white supremacists that fucking block me because I strategically destroy motherfuckers when they come with that bullshit fucking rhetoric. I even had coons that I ran across that I changed the mindset and had them motherfuckers militant now. So if you're gonna do it right, dog. It's very personal to me when motherfuckers go and do it the wrong way, because you fucking it up and you making it look bad. Because what I'm seeing is the reaction of people that are conflicted between the two, having sympathy for Anton and also having the like you say, the talking point that the motherfucker said go outside. Then you got people that said, you moving in front of a nigga face. If you felt disrespected, why the fuck you ain't swing on a nigga? Fuck all this shit about suing and all that other shit. Why the fuck you ain't swing on? Because let me tell you something. If a nigga disrespect me, and I've done it before, I'm not fucking talking. I'm just gonna go and swing on you. That's the whole purpose. And as Bobby, as a jujitsu master, you already know a nigga can't come and put himself in no seat like that without getting sparked in his fucking mouth. So Corey ain't even showing a fucking correct way of approaching somebody, because you being hostile and switching seats. Nigga, you do that shit to a Miami nigga, you talk about LA niggas. Let me tell you about Miami niggas. If you do that shit to a Miami nigga, you getting your shit cracked before you even get to that seat.
Agreed. Agreed. No, I don't disagree with anything you said.
The issue, no, you spot on.
Wait, hold on, real quick.
Go
I
ahead,
don't disagree with anything you said, and I have no problem with how you feel. You understand? You have valid points. You understand? I'm simply saying that most people are not looking at the level of depth. They're not even able, like Anton made a content about capacity. They're not even able to have a capacity depth conversation on some of the other stuff that was said. And that's not what anyone's talking about. Like the other stuff that didn't even happen in these clips. Nobody's really talking about that. Not that it's not valid or good to talk about, but that's not what the meat and potatoes is that everyone's addressing. And we're trying to, in the short time that we have here, address those things. And, you know, whereas, okay, in some of the other things, Corey wasn't strong on those. But on these particular things, he was strong. And like I said, you know, I cannot get past the fact that there were a lot of people, even on the podcast that I was on, a couple of the guys was on there like, yo, I used to really fuck with Anton. I unsubscribed from that dude. That is also valid. You don't have the only point that's valid, is all I'm saying. I'm not invalidating your point, but it seems that you're invalidating ours. And that's not.
I'm not invalidating y'all's. I never sat back and said I invalidated it. Because I said y'all co-sign. Yeah, I said y'all co-signing. Y'all co-signing the same thing y'all saying together. You co-signing it. If y'all saying that the way he if y'all saying that the way he handled it was right, and Bobby's saying it the way you call it out was right, then y'all co-signing that.
That's what you heard.
No.
There are certain things that he said. There are certain things that he said that were correct. But no one said that the overall way he handled it was correct. No, I think.
I didn't say the overall. You just said what you said, and Bobby just co-signed what this part you talking about. That's what I'm trying to tell
you.
He co-signed that part you talking about.
But you said before Bobby said anything, go ahead and co-sign it. So you just saying basically.
I said go ahead and co-sign it because he was co-signing what you were saying earlier. What are you talking about?
That don't mean he gonna co-sign this.
He was shit dogging.
What you talking about? Of course.
He was shit dogging. It's cool. Nah. But ultimately, what I wanted to point to.
I'm just telling you that what you're saying is what you're saying. That's it.
I mean,
go ahead, speak, brother.
You know what it is? You know what it is, man? It's the passion. That's what it is. No, because I swear it's the passion. That's all.
It's love. Go ahead.
But in any event, even with what they were saying and everything, for the most part, I thought he was on the trajectory. Now, again, like I was saying before, if he wants to go in this direction where he does invite people onto his platform, whether they agree or disagree, and he's willing to hash out debates, especially if it's diametrically opposed views, that's cool. But because knowing who Anton Daniels is, this was not your slow pitch.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the dude that you want to warm up with, because he's very crafty, and like you saw, he has no problems with not just verbally saying some stuff to kind of throw you off mentally, but he has no problem with even stirring up a physical altercation, possibly even getting his ass whooped, if it means that he can derail the conversation, which means he is very, very dedicated to either pushing his point or doing that. Now, the crazy part is, by him resorting to what he resorted to, even though Corey did a botched job of handling it, he actually submitted. He actually tapped out, because you made it clear that whatever you was coming at me with, I did not have the tools, or at least I was unable to or unwilling to go ahead and actually make an intelligent debate and make you look stupid intellectually. So I got to resort to making this a physical mudslinging match. So, like I've mentioned before, the old legal quote: if you don't have the facts, argue the law. If you don't have the law, argue the facts. If you don't have the law or the facts, pound on the table and yell.
There it is.
Anton didn't have facts or law, so he resorted to banging on the table, taking a dump on the floor, and flinging poop like a monkey.
Yeah.
So he basically gave it up and said, Corey 1, me 0. But there were some things that was worth noting in his approach. One of the things, and I couldn't remember the name of it, but I was surprised. That brother Craig Fax is pretty solid. He's definitely worth listening to.
He's pretty ill. I like Craig Fax.
He called out the name of it. I was actually surprised. Like, damn, I didn't think I was going to hear that on his thing. In his initial response, one of the things that Anton was doing was what's referred to as a Texas sharpshooter fallacy.
Mm-hmm.
So just to break down what it is, the Texas sharpshooter fallacy, it's an informal fallacy which is committed when differences in data are ignored, but similarities are overemphasized.
Yes.
So from this reasoning, a false conclusion is inferred. So the fallacy is the philosophical or the rhetorical application of the multiple comparisons problem in statistics, and a couple other areas like the apophenia in cognitive psychology. Basically, pretty much it comes from the metaphor about a person from Texas who fires a gun at the side of a barn and then paints a shooting target or bullseye centered on the tightest cluster of shots and claims to be a sharpshooter. So basically, that would be like if you've been to the range or if you've gone shooting before, or pew-pewing before, excuse me, you do.
Yeah.
You go ahead, you pew-pew at a blank piece of paper, and you get a couple in the center. Now, if you were to look at it with the bullseye, you clearly didn't really hit nothing. You probably on the outer rings. But you made the pew-pew, then you went ahead and you drew basically the center of the bullseye around where the pew-pew is, and then the rings, to make it look after the fact like, dang, I'm really him. I'm Timothy Hernandez. Look at me. I'm this legendary sharpshooter. When the reality is, no, you're not. You just did your damage and then drew the rings around. So he was doing that, especially when he was trying to hype him up with the whole glucking thing he was saying to Corey. He basically did this, and then after the fact, when the tensions are high, emotions are running, everyone's kind of, still trying to recover from what did we just hear? Oh, snap, it's going downhill. Then after the fact, he tried to pat it on and say, well, yeah, because you this, Y, Z. But if you look at the replays and you actually listen, you're like, no, actually, you said this. And now after the fact, you're trying to go ahead and pat it and recreate it to make it fit the narrative that you're doing. But people who are all embroiled in the nonsense and the brouhaha,
right,
basically they're a victim of what you see is all there is. So the last thing they saw, the new hotness, is what's going to reign the day. So because Anton said this after the fact, and basically he essentially knocked out everything that came before, this is what is law. So it's very important to watch this, and it's also very good for everybody. If you go on Google or wherever, you can look up a whole bunch of argument fallacies. It's very useful to understand. The technical talk can take you into the weeds, but what's most important is to find out how these things are applied. So in your own personal debates and conversations, and even stuff you see online and elsewhere, you can pick up like, I don't know all the nuances, but I know that you do this in this situation. That looks like what's going on here.
Facts. And look, man, this right here, I really want people to understand. Again, I had somebody just hit me up and tell me to share some of the videos about Anton talking some of his talk. And I really want y'all to understand, for those that didn't know and they used to follow Anton, or they kind of used to gravitate to him but didn't understand how he really gets down. I want y'all to see the kind of dude this guy is, man. This is the first time I heard about Anton, because I'm a foundational Black American. And, I heard this, and, he is directly attacking our lineage and going after our reparations claim. Listen to this. This is the first time I heard this fool. I mean, really heard him talk about political stuff. Before that, I heard him talk about relationships. Just like I said, most of his people are probably because of that. Because before I heard this, I was like, okay, this guy, he seems like he's kind of smart. He knows a few things. And then I heard this, I'm like, oh, okay. Now I see why he's being platformed and he's being exalted, because he's a goddamn Sambo. Listen to this.
Anybody. You get what you deserve. Wherever it is that you are in life, that's your bed, sleep in it. I don't care where you were born. I don't care where you come from. I see immigrants coming over here every day from third world countries, outworking you, outpacing you, and making you look bad. I don't care about your reparations. Listen, I don't care if you ever get it. As a matter of fact, I'm advocating against it because it's going to fuck up my dollar and make inflation go out of control. And so I don't want them to pay you. I don't want you to have nothing. Don't give these motherfuckers nothing. As a matter of fact, not only do I not want you to get nothing from reparations, I think that they should tax you for breathing. Tax you for breathing this good old air that we working so hard and paying our tax dollars for in order to be able to make sure that you got this good old air and this good old water.
This nigga sounds like Nick Fuentes. When I was on the Didi's Reaction, shout out to Sister Didi from Didi's Reactions podcast, is ridiculous. It's sick. It's one of my favorite ones. I was on her panel, and one of the other fellas that was on there was like, yeah, Anton Daniels is like Nick Fuentes in blackface. And goddamn it, if he didn't hit that shit out the park. And he has, if you go to his page, again, if you're not particularly intelligent or shit goes over your head, or you got a little baby coon in you like him, some of this shit might not even, you might, oh, that wasn't that bad. But if you really listen to the meat and potatoes of the outrageous things this nigga says, this dude is worse than goddamn Larry Elder. Listen to this shit.
Talk about the overall culture of the community. It is trash. That is 100% true. And so a lot of these guys will get with these egregious women that are doing the wrong thing and finessing the federal government in order to have a place to stay for free. And they don't want to grind. They don't want to work. They don't want to get educated. We don't want to then hold ourselves accountable. But we want to be offended at every single thing that somebody says about us that probably is true for the majority of us.
Talk about Shiloh Hendricks, the woman who called a 5-year-old a racial slur. My first impression after watching the video, a little bit of white trash. I have to be honest, the kid was 5. I have worked with 5-year-olds for the last 15 years. Absolutely everything they do is out of pocket. They're like little unhinged drunk people. Nothing they do makes sense. A 5-year-old is capable of rifling through somebody's bag and taking things that don't belong to them. Ask any kindergarten teacher. But I realize why so many people are wanting to defend this, because Black fatigue is real. I think society as a whole is there. We are just so unbelievably fed up with the ghetto ratchet behavior, entitlement, the victimhood, that they want to praise this woman. But what she did is not praiseworthy. But also on the same hand, please remember that every day that us white people get on this app, we get called racial slurs. Every single day. So if you don't want to be called a racial slur, you also have to stop calling people racial slurs.
White people are starting to get fed up, and that is the whole premise behind Black fatigue, is that nobody wants you to continue to play victim for the rest of your life. They tired of being held accountable for things that their ancestors did. They tired of you blaming all of your failures and the things that you weren't able to accomplish on white people. They're tired of you sitting there saying that you're a victim every single day, regardless of what your circumstance is, regardless of what you've been given, regardless of all of the affirmative action, regardless of the fact that you're saying that you're the most educated, but really you're the most enrolled. They tired of you blaming your debt on the system. They tired of you saying that white men are the problem. They tired of you asking for programs, and they're tired of being held accountable for the decisions that you're making every single day.
She'll be watching her back for the rest of her life. Yeah, because that's not thuggery, hoodrattery, animalistic. This is why people have Black fatigue. When you act like this, it's not normal behavior. People do stupid stuff. People say stupid stuff. That's life. It's not normal to threaten to unalive people because you don't like what they're doing. But here we are. People are getting sick and tired of opening up TikTok and seeing brawls on cruise ships, brawls in the airport, like literally the most ghetto behavior. We're tired. We're tired of it. But then whining and complaining and acting like it's not your fault that you act that way. Yeah.
And so that comment proved her right. And for whatever reason, y'all think that white people don't have eyes, that people that are not Black don't have eyes, and they can't see how ghetto a lot of this is. And then I have to pay for it because I got to go outside and then account for what you did. People are tired in general. Black people, I'll just say this. First, let's start with the whole Shiloh, whatever her name is, situation, right? Because I'm not sure that I actually spoke on this outside of the panel. So let me address this. Again, more than one thing can be true at the same time. Was it right that they called the child the N-word? Absolutely not. That is already a given. I'm not sure that there's anybody that actually can justify why it would make sense to call a 5-year-old that name. 100%. At the same time, if you're trying to understand why people are supporting this person, it's because they have Black fatigue.
This is one of the most despicable coons I've ever seen in my life. I don't know how any of you niggas, if you heard this video and you follow that nigga, bruh, I can't say what I want to say.
Am I the only person when he speaks, it sounds like Samuel Jackson, but in the Steven accent?
Yeah, basically.
Now you done made this good white woman's get on her camera and make this thing. She shouldn't have to get on here and make this statement. Y'all know better.
I mean, dude, the first one was bad enough when he's talking about because people still don't know who this guy really is. The first one, and when they see him, when they go look him up, they're probably going to see his dating and relationship stuff. That's most of his platform.
By design.
By design.
That's the ruse. That's
why I'm putting this out there, and that's why
that's the camouflage. Face paint.
Right, because this guy has been kind of flying under the radar, and people really fuck with him, and they don't know the depths of how much of a self-hating Negro this guy is. You know, on the first video, he's talking about, you know, Black culture is just a train wreck, just overall, just in its entirety. Black culture is trash. That's what he said on the first video. And then he goes into some other bullshit about how, you know, these guys, they get out here and they get with these single mothers, you know, so they can get a free place to live, a free this, a free that, or whatever. And that probably applies to most of you. What? And then if that wasn't bad enough, he goes into the second video, and this Nazi bitch is up here defending the woman that called a child a nigger. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you know, they both said it. I could never condone somebody doing that, right? Right before they go into the reason that they're condoning somebody doing that. Yeah. But
as soon as they do it, like, this is terrible, this is wrong, nobody with any sort of moral compass could ever justify that. And as soon as they get that out of their mouth, you hear mystical music going, here I go, and bam, they start. No one should be able to, but I can. Watch. It's like
right, and then he goes into why she. Oh, that comment proved her right. She told a bold-faced lie right there because she's talking about, oh, these people are threatening to kill me. The comment said she's going to be looking over her shoulder for the rest of her life. When did they say they were going to kill you? That's not what the comment said, but again, one of the first things that you know when you're dealing with white supremacists and their pet Negroes like Anton, they're going to lie. And they need a nigga face to get behind and reinforce the lie. Look, I'm not racist. I got this buck dancing jigaboo right here defending me. Yeah, bruh, it was up. You get online and you defend this white woman talking about, yeah, I could never say that about a child, but at the same time, you niggas do be acting out at, you do be fighting on Carnival cruise lines. Y'all niggas do be fighting at Spirit. What the fuck does that have to do with this child being called a nigga? Absolutely nothing. But this buffoon gets on. That's why when people say he's smart, I'm like, smart where? He's one of the dumbest niggas in the world. That makes sense to you? That logic he just gave? I don't know, man. I saw that, my head exploded. It's right there in plain view. It's not hidden. If you do a little bit of research, you'll see it. What y'all say, man? Talk to me. Talk me off the list.
People got to understand that if you hear what he says, and I think a lot of people go by the clips, but he said something very powerful. Anton said something that Corey did not register to him, but it also tells you exactly why he went on. Because if I was a coon, I would have went on Corey's podcast as well. But he said, I forgot what Corey said to him. He says to Corey, he says, I'm a chess player. Maybe you walked into something you wasn't expecting.
I agree.
So people don't understand when you dealing with chess players, he's a nerd. And as much as you guys don't want to acknowledge the fact that even though he does not know what the fuck he's talking about when it comes to history and facts, nerds are very crafty about how to maneuver themselves, especially somebody who plays chess. I also with my
I acknowledge that.
I with my barber help children and young kids learn how to play chess, because once you know how to play chess,
right,
you know how to maneuver yourself in this world and maneuver yourself around people.
Right.
Because chess is basically moves ahead of your opponent, thoughts ahead of your opponent. You already predicting how they're going to react, especially based on knowing who's sitting across from you. When he said, no, okay, y'all gotta, if you know chess, then you know one of the most powerful moves that will make you look weak, but will end the game is the swindle move. If you don't know what the swindle move is, Google it.
Okay.
They'll tell you what that move is. And that move is that you appear weak to your enemy, but when your enemy goes off rails and thinking that they got you, you already set traps up to win the game, to put them in a check mode situation. So when you're dealing with people like this is why I say it's, even though to the naked eye to people, he looks like somebody that you can fuck with. But when you have somebody that knows that type of person, you know how deadly and dangerous that type of person is in society. So it's very important you don't get a child that never been around snakes to go grab a snake. You make sure that you go grab the snake because you know how to handle a snake and you know how to cut the head off of a snake. To me, in that situation, I felt like Corey was the kid that somebody went to go grab the snake. Or he was a person that went out there thinking he could handle a snake. And he didn't properly handle Anton the way he was supposed to handle Anton.
I totally
so
agree.
that's what I'm saying. Huh?
I totally agree with that.
Co-sign.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. The thing that bothers me is that people like that, and I'm not trying to say what I need to say in order for YouTube to ban us, but you understand that people like that, you know, you gotta
I know.
Them out of the paint. Like
I know. Fact.
You know what I'm saying?
So come correct.
100%.
Yeah, you gotta come correct when you deal with people like that. So that's why I try to tell people all the time, if y'all watching this and y'all going on these different platforms and listening to different people, please don't be a person to engage with somebody that maneuvers like an Anton. If you don't know how to correctly, I tell this to people on my platform all the time. If you don't know how to correctly destroy somebody like that, find somebody, tag me, tag anybody, tag Bobby, tag Major. Find us. Let us do that, because when you do it, they will embarrass you so bad that people will gravitate to them thinking that they are the right person and they know what the fuck they talking about.
Fact.
I'll land my plane on that.
That's the thing. Like, and right now, I get your frustration because right now, Anton is like on a sugar high. You know what I'm saying? Like but it's a sugar high. It's just that it's going to fall flat. You know what I'm saying? Because they're going to get there and they're going to steal this motherfucker. You know what I mean? But I get why you would be frustrated behind that. I agree with you low key. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really don't disagree with you as much as you think. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, it's a real thing. You know, it ends up backfiring and you give this person leverage over you. You know, but he's going to overplay his hand because, as I pointed out before, he's not particularly intelligent. He thinks he is, but he's not particularly intelligent. And you listen, it was very obvious things in that debate. Like he said, for instance, you know, they challenged him on the whole black thing, and he basically said, "I'm not black, I'm Anton." That's what he said.
No, he said, "I'm a Christian."
Christian first.
He did that same, and for all the liberal lovers, I know this will make y'all sting, but because as soon as he heard that Mary Jane in my head, there's somebody else who's notable, but on the Democrat liberal side of the game, he said the same thing. Boule Bird Martin.
He's the same thing. He won't say he's black.
He sat down in front of arch white supremacist fiend Richard Spencer, and Richard called him on. He said, because you know, I keep saying these white folks know they're Negroes.
They do.
They know they're Negroes. He said, "Well, I'm a white man. I'm a Christian man. What are you?" He said, "I'm a Christian." Said,
and I'm a man.
Are you black? I'm a Christian. And I'm a man. Are you a Christian? Like I'm a white Christian man. But he was looking like,
it's insane.
Is this hard R serious?
It's insane, bro. Like,
I want to say this.
The psychology is the same.
Remember what happened to Boule Bird when he had a real motherfucker on there. When he had Dr. Umar on there.
He lit his ass up.
Pieced up all three of their ass.
He lit his ass up.
And he never
straight body blows, boy.
He never had nobody like that back on his platform. If you realize that. He fucked around. And I'm gonna tell you where he fucked around at. After that, I think it was years after that, it was this guy that I follow. I know you guys seen his platform. He called himself New Era King. Y'all heard about New Era King? That's the kid. That's the guy who helps the kids, like, show them how to be mechanics and stuff like that and go viral. Don't get me wrong. There was some things that he said that he was on the borderline of coonish, right? I mean, that was on his personal page.
Right.
But he had Boule Bird had him on the program. And that motherfucker ripped Boule Bird so bad. And at that time, he was 18, I think, 18, 19. He was young. And he ripped him so bad that Boule Bird audience was getting on Boule Bird.
I remember that. I saw that in real time.
Remember that, right?
I was crying, laughing on IG.
And after that, he ain't never put nobody else on because that's what they do. The Charlie Kirks, the Candace Owens, the Nick Fuentes, the Antons, everybody like that. They pretty much scam base who the fuck they bring on their thing, who they interact with, because they know if you have somebody that knows facts, you're going to destroy their talking points. You're going to even destroy their brand. And once their brand is destroyed, that's it. It's no more. So they have to be very, very cautious about who they interact with. Hence why he was quick to go on his podcast. You see what I'm saying? And also remember, and I know you guys say he took a flight back out, but when I heard, I saw a video he did, and he said that he was supposed to be at No Jumper, but they said that, what's the name? The white boy who sends all these dudes, Adam, was sick. So he couldn't go to the No Jumper. So I think that was his two things that he was trying to knock out at once. But even to go on No Jumper says a lot, because No Jumper, besides Tyreek, and I don't know anybody else besides Tyreek, they pretty much have coons over there.
Fact.
You know what I'm saying? So he's safe on that platform. Plus, there's police over there, so he's good. So they pick and choose what platforms they go to because they don't want people to destroy them. That's why I say, if you're a person that gets that opportunity, it's better for Corey had brought somebody in and facilitated it as a debate between two people.
He should have called Tariq. He real tight with Tariq. He should have called Tariq. Hey man, I need you to come through, slide on in this interview because, you know, again, like you said, I'm sure Anton made the calculation. Okay, this guy, he's probably not that deep to where because the thing is, even the stuff that Anton was talking about, it wasn't particularly relevant to the conversation. He deflected into this bullshit intentionally, so that he would go to a place that was out of Corey's depth, or at least in his mind. You know what I'm saying? And it looked like that worked. You know, but like this dude, he won't debate nobody real. He won't debate Tariq. Jason Black would draw and quarter this damn buffoon ass pussy. Like,
he knows all of them. There are certain targets that all of them, because let's not get it confused. The dominant society, they know the name of the new black media. They know there's a new black media. They know that the old black media does not have the sway that it once had. And they know they might not know all the different layers, because there are a lot of new faces and new people coming under the auspices of the new black media who are on code. But as far as who the people at the top of that pyramid are, they know them.
Yeah, they do.
They know that there's certain names that they're not going to invoke. There's certain people they're not going to invite on. There's certain platforms they're not going to go to. There's certain people where they know and their little their staff knows. I don't care. Doesn't matter how many times we get tags from this account, that account, that account. You do not respond. I don't care what you do. If you so much as misses even bring up that profile, you're fired. They know that there's holy ground you don't go to.
Very well.
Amanda Seals does that.
Yes, she does.
She does that same bullshit.
She everybody was acting like, you know, they had this big old victory lap because she debated this room full of things. I was unimpressed.
It's the same exact tactics that the right is known for.
As far as I'm concerned, they were all pre-selected. There's no way it just happened upon 6 or 7 niggas that were that stupid. That's just not even possible.
The same way how at these presidential debates and so on, or these little town halls, these quote unquote town hall meetings, doesn't matter if it's on the left or the right. Everyone you see in the audience is not off the street. Those are paid volunteers. They are paid or volunteer campaigners. They're in the campaign office. They bring them up in there, and so every time you see a that stuff, all that is already baked in. That's not real, genuine, organic responses from the people, from the grassroots. That's canned because they do not want an unexpected response. They don't want anyone to challenge or mess with anything. They're there to serve slow, underhand softball pitches. They're not trying to play no MLB baseball with no curveballs and no fastballs.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm glad you said that, because I want people to know, if you out there organizing a platform, when you're bringing these people, make sure you have somebody on the panel with that mindset like we do. Because let me tell you something. When they brought Candace Owens, y'all remember that summit shit that they had way back, and they had T.I. on it, and then they had Killer Mike, and she was eating T.I.'s ass up, and he was coming back at her with some, emotional responses and shit, that talking points that just ain't make no sense, and she was beating his ass. And then Brother Mike said, move to the side, and Brother Mike ate Candace Owens' ass up on that stage. Yeah. She was quiet for the rest. I remember
straight body blows. Meat.
Gotta have somebody there that knows how to control that shit and control those coons because if you don't, you're gonna have them look like they know, like they gods to everybody, like they know everything, and they feeding you these bullshit burritos, and you gotta have somebody up there that knows how to unravel it, and just like Killer Mike did.
But see, here's the thing.
Go ahead. For all those in the chat, make sure you like and share and comment. We want to hear from you.
And that button.
Y'all subscribe to the page. We cooking over here, man. We do this every week. We Iron Chefing it. But let me finish my point that I was making. I think Bobby jumped in. He said he's Christian. You understand what I'm saying? He said, hey, I'm a Christian. He kept going at that. He asked, well, are you black? And he starts talking about how being black is a construct. He's all this other shit that's a construct. He's supposedly rich, and he's Christian. All that shit is a construct too. But you can't say that you're black because being black is a construct. A few sentences later, they were talking about black people in the black community, and well, hey, black people can't even get this right because we don't even like each other. But nigga, you just said you wasn't black. You hoe ass nigga. You just said I'm not really black. I'm Christian. You wouldn't say you was black, but now when you're ragging on black people, it's we. We don't even like each other. Now you black.
I'm not black. I'm OJ.
I'm not black. I'm OJ.
Out here done became all Rosetta Stone bilingual. Look at you speaking fluent French now. We.
Bruh, and nobody.
Next you're gonna be out here getting some beignets and whatnot. Okay,
he gave Corey some gems. If Corey would have really been astute and locked in, he would have. He couldn't have said that shit if I was there. Nigga, you just said you wasn't black. And I would have lit his ass up, regard to the self-hating coon and how you can never, at least on a very basic level, get them to admit that they are black. Nigga, please, bro, this shit is insane. There was so much shit that went wrong. It really, really irked me. Let me play this last clip and then get y'all reaction on the other side. Check this out.
This episode.
Shout out to the
Caucasian male.
Shout out to the chat. I'm not gonna shit on nobody.
Yeah, you shitted on black people. You shitted on motherfuckers.
I feel like I shitted on you. To your face. To your face.
Be careful shitting on me, because I feel like you're talking shit again.
I'm not talking shit. I'm telling you.
Careful.
I'm telling you.
You shitted on me to my face, but that shit will lead to some danger.
Will we please stop the
trust me,
the tough talk? I got security. You got security.
Homie, I ain't got security. Them my people.
Cool. Them your
you gotta hire a to be with you.
Absolutely. I'm always gonna hire somebody.
You better.
100%.
How you be talking?
Corey, stop talking tough. Stop talking.
Homie,
tough.
you
just said that.
I'm not talking tough. I'm talking to you straight up.
Why are you so?
You said you disrespected me in my face, and then you act like it was all good.
That I disrespected you to your face. So I'm confirming what you said. You felt disrespected. So I am telling you that I disrespected you if that's the way you felt. Is that not what you said? You said that out of your mouth. And so I apologized when you said that you felt disrespected.
No. The reason you said you disrespected me in my face
because you don't accept the apology because you still
talk about everybody else except yourself and white men.
I'm telling you what I said. You felt offended by it, so I apologize. All I'm doing is rehashing a conversation that happened. Why are you so easily offended?
You still talk about me? It sounds like I'm arguing
because I'm right. See,
I'll be around and they tell me about myself all the time. Be gone.
No.
That shit don't hurt no feelings. It's probably better this way.
Because I just proved my point.
Be down.
You're
you proved the point.
You're hypocritical.
Homie, just gone, man.
No, you hypocritical,
just gone,
bro.
man.
You
gone.
hypocrite. I'm not the jet.
You done did this before.
He's
Get your
hypocritical.
bitch ass the
And I.
Hey, homie.
All right, I'm out.
Get your bitch ass the on and walk over there with your bodyguard and your. Walk over there with your bodyguard and your.
You proved my point.
I got shit to do.
You're right.
Don't bring up here, dog, that you ain't finna stand on. Remember I told you that. If you got a bitch with you, explain the bitch. Don't ask her to be on my show. Can she be on the show? I don't know that bitch. Now get your whole ass the fuck on and pay for your like you got to.
Well, I mean, that escalated quickly. Listen, again, the theatrics of it, we got to talk about it because everybody's talking about it. And, you know, they're looking for us to give our take on it, whatever the case may be. I'm not proud of this moment, but I feel like certain things had to be kind of said, you know, and when you, from a manhood perspective, you know what I'm saying? This particular clip really bothered me the most. You know what I'm saying? Because the idea was on some level that they had kind of squashed it. Y'all didn't see that part. They had kind of squashed it and they were back, you know, trying to have a dialogue. And then Anton just started devolving into this low energy bullshit again. And Corey had to check him. And it's like, dog, you know, people can, how's the saying go, from a distance? You know, two people arguing, you can't tell who the fool is, basically, is the gist of it. Mm-hmm. That's what this came off as. You know what I'm saying? Again, Anton went in there with an agenda and he executed his agenda to perfection. Unfortunately. You understand what I'm saying? And to Anthony's point, he is absolutely right about this thing. You know, when these type of characters, first of all, I don't even understand why the fuck Corey Holcomb would have Anton Daniels on his show to begin with. He could not have properly researched this dude. You understand what I'm saying? Because a coon like that, a big old juicy coon like that, what the fuck you want him on the show for? What y'all gonna talk about? What y'all got in common? You know, unless you're trying to show black men exactly how not to be and exactly what behavior not to mimic. Why the fuck would you have this whole ass nigga on your show? I don't understand it. I say this all the time. I get that, okay, you want to look at different perspectives and you want to welcome people into the fray that you don't necessarily agree with because you might be wrong about some things and you want to grow and so forth and so on. I'm in support of that shit. However, there are certain lines that you just cannot cross. We cannot fundamentally disagree on ideology and come to any type of common understanding. You understand? It cannot happen unless you're doing like Tariq Nasheed, well, he'll debate Richard Spencer or what's the other guy? Jared, I forget his name.
Taylor.
What's his name? Jared who?
Jared Taylor. Jared Taylor.
Richard Spencer, so that you are showing other black people how white supremacists think and how to counter their arguments. I can understand that. But even that has to have a ceiling. There's such a thing as being too tolerant. And I want black folks to take this from this show, if nothing else. There's some niggas, you don't have anything to say to these niggas. Period. Because this dude is an unrepentant coon who really, you know, there is no redeeming him. What are you going to talk about? You know, and not only is he an unrepentant coon, that's why he's being platformed. There are things that he says that if somebody else said it, the video would get taken down tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Why is he special? You got to ask yourself these questions. And, you know, there's certain people, I'm going to just go ahead and say it. Fuck it. Boyce Watkins, for instance, for ejemplo, for y'all niggas that don't know, I used to really fuck with Boyce Watkins heavy. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I like some things about Boyce, you know, but Boyce was out here doing his thing, whatever. And everybody was, you know, he's like, he a little off lately. He been saying some crazy shit. It's you know, it's a little funky. And lo and behold, it came out in a few months. This Asian dude came out and he's talking about, yeah, Boyce, that's my guy who, he goes out there and he's my front man for my product, whatever the case may be. I pay him and whoa. The whole time we're thinking that Boyce is 100% independent. And he's just grinding, he's working his ass off or whatever. Then this Asian dude comes out talking about how, oh yeah, he's paying Boyce for his internet presence or whatever the case may be. Now, I'm not saying that necessarily means anything nefarious, necessarily. But when you're not honest about that up front and you tell everybody that you're 100% independent, my nigga, you understand? Like, now I'm looking at you sideways. That was the first time that I started to see, okay, a lot of these people that are on the internet, these little musty internet niggas, they're not grassroots like you would think they are. They're not grassroots like they want you to feel that they are. These niggas got hidden hands. Somebody got their hand up their ass, telling them what to say and telling them what to do. A lot of them. And that is what I suspect with this dude, Anton. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think enough of us understand that and appreciate it the way that it needs to be understood and appreciated in order for us to move correctly in these spaces out here. We let a lot of these little musty niggas into our fray. Tariq has done it too. You know what I'm saying? With some of the people that he let on and he gave shine, Tariq is one of the people responsible for letting Cynthia G into the fray. He blew her up a little bit. I know it wasn't his intention, but that showed me, I learned from Tariq, okay, you got to be very careful about the people you let in.
Him, Maj Touré.
Ali in.
Maj Touré.
Bruh, you got a lot of these little musty, infiltrators, these little moles out here that even those of us that are remember the chick Jade Arendelle I told you about? The candidate, the chick that was trying to groom to be a candidate in Maryland or DC, Tariq and his people, came to find out she was a damn mole. That one caught me. We gave her ass a crown check on this show. And Tariq came and he's like, yeah, we found out, she was working against us or whatever. Dog, y'all don't understand. Like, these people are out here heavy in our spaces and they platform people and get behind them and tell them to say all this reckless bullshit. And I learned from my OGs. Tariq is one of my OGs. You know what I'm saying? And others that are out here, some of the OGs, and it's like, yo, when you see a nigga talking and the shit ain't quite hitting, it ain't quite, it don't make real sense. It's kind of almost a little bit there, but it ain't. It's something to that shit. And that's just what I want to encourage people to look for, man. A lot of these people out here, they're not for real. They're 100% AstroTurf. I'll park the Chevy with y'all.
You got more clips?
That was the last clip.
Oh, okay.
That was the last clip.
Okay, so I just wanted to, because I know a lot of people probably didn't watch the entirety of the show, but Corey said some shit that I wanted to address too.
Go for it.
He said voting doesn't change people. It doesn't change nothing. And I want people to be clear. See, this is why you need to have a real in-depth conversation and just not niggas just shooting shit out, because then they're giving wrong information. So voting on a mass level, we're talking about voting as far as presidential level, that shit ain't gonna do nothing. Those are people already selected. We already know that. But voting on a local level does change shit. So I don't want people to be out there listening to what Corey's saying. He has a big platform to be spitting that type of fucked up information.
Agreed.
So even with me, like Anika Umfroy, shout out to Anika Umfroy, when she had won her bid out here in Lauderdale, she won her bid because she beat out the person she was going with, and this was her first year in the state capitol. And I remember before she left there, she had a real good conversation and dialogue with me, because this was her first time going up there. She didn't know what to expect or nothing like that. And I remember saying to her, I said, let me tell you something. you are a Democrat. But when you get to that state level, make sure that you go and get what you need to get from whoever you need to get. Don't give a fuck if they're Republican or Democrat.
Right.
Roll with the people that's going to get what you need to get for your community.
Mm-hmm.
When she went up there, and she came back and she called me, and I remember it like it was yesterday, and she says, out of all the people I know and all the people that have degrees and all of that stuff, the best advice came from you.
That was up.
She said, I went up there and she was like, you know, the Democratic Party was pushing back, hating on me to get what I got a lot of my stuff from the Republicans. Not only that, I was able to bring back $4 million for my district. That was one of the highest that any representative brought back because of what you told me. She went on and finished her term. But before she finished her term, we was talking about doing a lot of things. There was one thing she wanted to do was build a financial think tank in the Lauderdale, right? So we was working on that. But in the meantime, she wanted to do something that she wanted to achieve for women, because one of the things that I always talk about people is when I talk with people is always about the medical apartheid that a lot of Black women go through. Just Black people in general, but specifically Black women are targeted heavy in the medical realm. So we talk about, racist cops, but there's racist people in the medical field. How the fuck do you identify that? We can identify a racist cop, but it's hard for us to identify a racist medical professional, right? So I told her, we need to do something to try to help the women out. She went and sponsored a bill and created a bill called the Fibroid Research Bill. It's H0543. Got that bill, passed it, and now that bill is officially cleared. It is in law. That bill is every woman can go to the clinic and get her physical assessment. So you get free physical, breast check, and things like that to find out if you have cancer or anything like that. All for free, right? So I say that not to do any bragging. I say that because change comes when you have an unapologetic mentality and you care about your people in your community. You can go out there and get shit done on a local level and attach yourself to people that's in those seats that want to do those phenomenal things. If you look at Miami Gardens, they have phenomenal leaders down there. I'm in tune with all the leaders in Miami Gardens. They do so much good stuff for the community. And guess what? The people is who selected those individuals in the community, right? So to sit back and say that voting don't do nothing, I think it needs to be a broader perspective of that and a breakdown of that. You know what I'm saying? So we talked about all that stuff about the slavery thing, which was bullshit, because what happens, and I want y'all to understand that, y'all gonna hear that part where it talks about, where they talk about, Anton says, oh yeah, slaves was imported from the transatlantic, and Corey sat back and agreed with it. And I'm like, dog, you not supposed to agree with this shit. If you don't know, shut the fuck up and let somebody who knows, because now you're putting out false information. And what the thing about it is, our people don't have the
wherewithal.
I wouldn't say the wherewithal, but we don't have the self-esteem, the pride to understand how to move forward, because we think that everything is about slavery, and that's the beginning and the end of it, right? Suppressed our whole lives. But when you talk about the conversation in totality, the foundational Black Americans been here, because let me tell you something. All that shit y'all talking about boats, did y'all know that all the continents was together, right? Y'all do know that, right? And it was called Americas, right? And Africa was not Africa. Africa was Ethiopia. And they expanded it to make Africa all the nations and called the continent Africa, but Ethiopia was originally Africa. That's why Ethiopia was the start of the first school, and everything that you could date back is originated in Ethiopia. So this type of information is what we need to project to our children and into society, so we can stop with the bullshit rhetoric that's keep going on, and understanding why foundational blacks are fighting the way they're fighting, because everybody didn't come from overseas. It wasn't even that much people that came from overseas.
They say
Over
it was
in
about
America,
6%.
huh?
They say it was about 6% that actually came from overseas, and the rest of the here.
Exactly.
Black folks were here. They were native black. Yeah.
Native blacks, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like, the information is something that needs to be set straight, and I think that was missed in that. But I just wanted to run across those because I think I covered everything else. But those was real. I wanted to really hone in on that because that was part of the conversation, and neither one of them was presenting accurate information. But like I say, this is one of the reasons why you guys need to come on Manversations, because of the simple fact that we break this shit down into the accurate form. You know what I'm saying? That all that other bullshit y'all go out there, that's chatter and noise. You want real accurate information. You want real dialogue. You want the real narrative. Come over here. Tell a friend to tell a friend. So basically, at the end of the day, we gotta start moving forward and projecting things that are very positive and tangible to our community. One of the shows that I told people to watch, movies, is Sarah's Oil. We heard the story. It's a phenomenal movie, and I think if I had a young daughter, I would definitely let her watch that, because what Sarah Rector did at the age of 11 was phenomenal. And to see the visual, because it's one thing to read about it, but to add visual to it, it sends it to another level to understand how our ancestors were so powerful. And I land my plane on that.
No, all facts, man. And look, man, let this be a cautionary tale on any number of levels. For one, if you are out here, like Ant said, you going into a gunfight with a knife, you know what I'm saying?
Basically.
Bringing a knife to a gunfight, man. You call your peoples, man. Craig could have helped, but what he really needed to read. You know what I'm saying? Because, Anton, he's very crafty and he's very nice with words, and what he'll do, like Bobby said, he just bang on the table and yell, and his way of doing that is deflecting into some bullshit that has nothing to do with the conversation, and talking about that in depth. You understand? And making it seem like, oh man, did you see what he said? That shit was deep. No, you're just too dumb to understand that he deflected into some bullshit and didn't address what was being said. And there are a lot of people out there like that, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying? The reality TV is working. The songs by NBA Youngboy and Sexy Red are working. We are dumb as fuck out here. There's no 20 years ago, 25. We'll say 25. 25 years ago, Anton couldn't win on nobody's platform. If we had social media then, he couldn't win on nobody's platform to talk that bullshit. They would have anybody would have lit his ass up. But we are so dumbed down at this point. You understand? We, the average person, man, the shit that they consume, it's scary. They're on a steady mental diet of Sexy Red, NBA Youngboy, and baddies. And they go to goddamn G5 every Saturday and blow their whole fucking check at the strip club. We got to get off that. You know what I'm saying? It's really affecting us in a very negative way. As much of a Sambo as Anton is, as much of an ignorant coon as he is, he was right about some of the stuff that he was saying when he's talking about our culture degenerating. The thing is, he said that our culture, for the most part, is garbage. That's not true. But we do have some segments within Black society that have become trash. And unfortunately, those segments are growing. And it is because we are being intentionally programmed with this brain rot. So Black folks, we got to get up off this shit, and we gotta start elevating ourselves and, surrounding ourselves with people that are going to elevate conversations. Again, there's no reason Corey should have invited this buck dancing coon on his show to begin with. You could have got so many other people. I don't think Corey's even had Tariq on there. I think he had him on there once, but he was injured when he had him on there. His wrists were broken. Like, bring Tariq on there when you healthy, my nigga. Like, bring Jason Black on there. Bring Professor Black Truth on there. Bring Phil Scott on there. Shit, bring us on there. You understand? But like
Vicky Dillard, hell.
Vicky Dillard, but a crumb like Anton Daniels. I'm gonna go out of my way to expose this bastard. Over the next few weeks, I'm gonna make sure I put all his bullshit out there. Because people don't know, they legit don't know how much of a coon he is. So we're gonna definitely, put some of his stuff out there and just kind of talk to people, not just him, but others too, and kind of talk to people about some of the people that we're gravitating to and giving our energy to that we really need not be. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead.
No, I was gonna say y'all gotta read books too, man, because Anton was saying something about white supremacy as if it's a myth, right?
Right.
And you had a white guy who was Jewish by the name, I forgot what his last name was, but he wrote the book Color of Law.
Yep.
That right there showed you a white man was exposed. He was the whistleblower telling you all the redlining and all the laws that they were doing against black folks. So what the fuck is he talking about? Once you understand and you read literature, I have tons of books in here that's documented about shit like that. The blood of the moon, what's it called again?
Which one?
Oh, you mean Killers of the Flower Moon?
Yeah, Killer of the Flower Moon.
Killers of
That's
the Flower Moon.
documented. FBI documentations about what they did to the Indians, and that's how you got the $5 Indians. So what are you talking about? Like,
not only that, I mean, just the hip hop police. Yeah, there's a whole. This is documented. There's a whole segment of the police force dedicated to just following black hip hop artists around because they're so influential. That's recent. You understand? The Bank of America scandal, the Wells Fargo scandal, where they, got all these millions out of people and didn't give them, the same type of deals that they were giving white folks on loans. You understand what I'm saying? This is recent shit. We don't have to go. I mean, Malcolm and Martin were proven too. That they had hands in their death. That has been proven.
Absolutely.
Documented. And you have this buffoon up here pretending that white supremacy is a myth. And niggas still listening to his podcast.
Well, of course, he's a good dude, boy. He's doing what he's supposed to, what he's paid to do. The problem is we have to get better at. We have to stop outsourcing our. First off, we do need to start listening to the folks in Black society that are actually intelligent. Number one.
That's correct.
All the dummies and the mouth breathing, drooling while standing perfectly still and upright nonsense that we take in. That's got to get. All of that content is fit only for those who've been lobotomized.
Yeah, right.
The people who, if someone doesn't come along every 2.6 seconds and drop their lower jaw, they'll drown from all the saliva that just popped it back in. They don't have the wherewithal to even swallow or spit or whatever to clear it out. That's what that tribe is fit for. So that's number one. Then number two, we have to stop outsourcing intelligence to strictly them. It is not sufficient to simply have highly capable, qualified, and intelligent thinkers outside of you that you outsource all of your critical thinking to. No one is saying that every single one of us has to walk around with Khan Academy in the left hand and a Rhodes Scholar paper in the other hand. No one's saying that. But damn it, you have to be able to understand how to critically think and halfway analyze. And I keep saying this. I'm tired of sounding like a broken record.
Right.
You go out and you spend damn near $1,000 on these friggin' devices, these smartphones. And if you have any of the new ones, if you have any of these devices that have been put out since probably mid-2024 to right now, all of them have their own little AI software that's baked into the cake already.
Yeah.
All these LLL, these large language models, your Claude AI, your Chat GPTs, your Perplexity AI, all these other AI engines. These things can do in literally, it's not BS. It's not I'm not being all extra with it. I'm being literal. Literal. Within a matter of 20 seconds, you can type in whatever question or information you want to know, and within 20 seconds, you will get out a largely accurate. It's not foolproof. You might have to do some proofreading, which again is why critical thinking analysis skills are so important.
Yeah.
But within a relatively safe margin of error, you will get an intelligent, thorough, well thought out, and 360-degree level explanation or breakdown, and you can ask further questions to even further fine tune and get to more key elements of what you're understanding. You can even ask it to further break it down. If what it's spitting out to you is a little bit too complex, you feel like you need to go ahead and get an astrophysics degree, or you need to go do an internship at NASA before you break it down, you can even say, hey, can you please reframe this in a 7th grade level? Can you explain it to me the way you would to my 8-year-old niece? You can do that, and it will oblige you. This is something that used to take weeks. Old school, you had to go and pull out the encyclopedia, the Farmer's Almanac. You had to go spend a whole month in the library to do all this if you didn't have the information, and you literally have it sitting here in your hand. This goddamn thing was not meant for you to go ahead and tap stuff on Instagram and to get your Candy Crush binge in.
I think what you're trying to say, Bobby, short version, ain't no more excuses. Am I right? Ain't no more excuses. The knowledge
Cut
is
the
there.
fecal matter. It's there. The means is there. The only thing that is lacking is the will. And that's the one thing they can't create software for. There is no technology they can build to give you the will, the desire.
You ain't told no lie. Yeah. That's real. So listen, man, that's where we are with it, man. This was a very, very interesting reaction. Broadly speaking, man, brothers, when you go into another person's space, we need to maintain respect at all levels. And we don't need, I feel like if you go into somebody else's space with ulterior motives, besides having productive conversations to move the culture forward, you don't need to be making those trips, man. And brothers inviting people into your spaces with particularly large platforms, please let's be more careful about the people that we bring in, because what people are not seeing, what people are not talking about, they keep talking about the possibilities of, he wanted to hit him or, whatever, and that could have happened. But what I always try to think out worst case scenario. Somebody could have lost their life over this bullshit. I really mean that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not between these two guys, but like, you never know, because I feel like there's a reason that Anton kept trying to get him to go outside. You know what I'm saying? When word on the street is you got armed security with you, and Corey got some people there that's his family. They start feeling away. Now we got a situation. You got women there, women involved. They didn't ask for none of this. You understand what I'm saying? And it's all over what? Bullshit. Because I don't give a fuck what nobody say. Anton came in there on some bullshit, and his whole brand is bullshit. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, I know Corey Holcomb ain't no Boy Scout. A lot of people don't care for him or whatever the case may be, but Corey is not, as for all his flaws and some of the toxicity that he's put out there in the past, and he has put some out there, Corey is not. Corey is very pro-black, and Corey's trying to grow. I can at least see that in him. You understand what I'm saying? And he's trying to have an honest dialogue and an honest conversation with this pariah to black society. He don't even know that that's what he's being faced with. You know what I'm saying? So I think we all have to be a little more careful and a little more mindful of the people that we're associating ourselves with going forward. And with that being said, I think that's going to bring us to our crown check. You know what I'm saying? We had a wonderful show tonight. Going to bring us to our crown check. I love this segment. I really
This is the crown check segment where we honor our queens. Respect.
Crown check.
When I think of legendary figures of Black history, I think of all of the foot soldiers of the civil rights movement. One such person was Linda Blackman Lowry. She was the youngest person to participate in the Selma voting rights marches. She was just 15, and she was among several teenagers at that time who had such fortitude at a young age to see the importance of their action. Oftentimes when we think of the civil rights movement, there are famous names and faces that come to mind, but really the movement happened because of so many thousands of people who took it upon themselves to organize locally, who were willing to risk their lives pushing for equality. And so I just salute all of them. Many of their names don't fill the history books, but history wouldn't have been made without them.
Shout out to our good sister, Linda Blackman Lowry. RIP to her. She just transitioned on December 24th, 2025. The youngest member that was at Selma at the voting rights march, participating in the struggle. Shout out to that sister. That is a big deal. That is our crown check for this evening. Respect and honor to that good sister. All right, brother. Go ahead, talk to us real quick before we close out. Well, shit, let me just put my little 2 cents in real quick, man. Again, tell a friend to tell a friend. Very, very important. We're going to do some aggressive marketing to get more people into the fray of this show because, man, look, I've had so many people hit me up lately, people that I've been meeting casually, and they're looking for something like this. So if you guys know somebody, put them onto this. We're going to start doing, more regular podcasts. And I really, really appreciate everybody that's tuned in. We've been getting some good viewership lately. I've been getting some good feedback. So shout out to y'all. God bless. And let's do the damn thing, man. We got to push back against the Anton Daniels of the world. They are just not. This is not anything good for the community. You know what I'm saying? So we got to push back with everything that we have against them. And encourage the Corey Holcombs of the world to kind of expand their horizons. I see that he is trying, and salute to that brother for that. So y'all go ahead and say what y'all got to say. Let's clear it up.
Shout out to Crown Check for the night. 15 years old. I've always said to people, even myself, I look back, and this is nothing, bad against my parents. But I felt like as parents, if you want your child to do good, like you want them to be a lawyer, doctor, or whatever you feel like is a great career for your child, then be in the community and show your child what the needs are. I think that's the lost element of our ancestors, because our ancestors, if you look at all the history books and the pictures, they had their 5-6-year-olds that was out there. You know what I'm saying?
Rewind.
So they had their children out there, and they had their children with them while they were fighting. And those children end up growing up to be the politicians, the lawyers, the doctors, the scientists. Everything that they needed, they got it from their children, because the children saw firsthand what was the need for their community and their people. So I think moving forward, if you got children, man, be very active with them. Children learn. They are very sponges. They want to know more. They want to know how they can be help. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to be a help. They don't want to just fold clothes all day and be grown in that way in the household. Let them be grown outside of the household by learning things at a very young age that could be very fulfilling to them later on. So, I always say, and I'm gonna land my plane with this. Think about this. If you're listening, I want you to really think about this. Think about our ancestors building Black Wall Street during a time with a racist Republican president, in the fact that they had a horrific Jim Crow era, that the minute you was out there wandering around past the lights on the streets, that's why your mother always told you, come in before the lights. There's a historical content behind that, because if you caught outside when the lights is dark, you might end up being hung by a tree. Yeah. So all of that stuff, knowing all of that, your ancestors were able to build banks, stadiums, schools, hospitals.
Mm-hmm.
White folks were so racist that even if you had a cut, a wound or whatever, they didn't want you in their hospitals. So we said, fuck it, and built our own. Now imagine all of that in the early 1900s, and you look at what we got in society now. Everything that they built with less money than us, less resources than us, and not such a strict Jim Crow era.
Yeah.
And they built all of that stuff for us. And we have it like it now, which is way easier than we have more money than them, more resources, and we ain't building shit. Matter of fact, we're losing everything that they worked hard to build and fought for. We got to turn this shit around and start building now. Start building the fucking society within a society. That bullshit wasting time is over. 2026 mentality needs to change, and I'll land my plane on that.
Yeah. Agreed, and that's why we're so hard on some of the bullshit back and forth that we see. Because the time that we see people wasting on that, they could be out here building. You know what I'm saying? If you out here twerking, you ain't out here building. If you out here sipping lean, you ain't out here building. And the things that we prioritize, you understand, have become things that are very much to our detriment. You know what I'm saying? You can learn a lot from a dummy. Anton said something akin to that. But the problem with what he said is that he basically said that encompasses all Black people and our culture generally. And it's just a small segment, but that small segment, we got to weed them out. Go ahead, Bobby Drake. Take us on.
Absolutely. 3 quick things I want to say. That was a great crown check. Good to hear. I also like what that sister who was getting us up on game said towards the end, because that is very, very important. We know a few and a handful, even in some cases, of those who had an impact during the Civil Rights Movement and other key moments in our history. We know a few, but it wasn't the few that did the work. It was the thousands and thousands and thousands who went in and put their muscle, who put in the legwork, who put in the handwork, got busy and mixed it up. When you look at the pictures and the footages, yes, you see the Dr. Kings. Yes, you see the Elder Malcolms and those in the foreground. But in the background, you see a sea of faces, a sea of people that are ready with it. They're listening, they're attentive, they're ready to work, they're getting their marching orders, and they're handling business and taking care of it. It is very important to understand that it is important to have those figures. Yes, people talk about when are we going to get the next Dr. King? When are we going to get the next Malcolm? That is important. But what's even more important is that we are there ready to go ahead and roll up our sleeves. And even if it's not to be in the front, we need to make sure that we're doing our part. Because what we cannot do is get one of those individuals, send them out onto the limb, and the rest of us are just comfortable, just chilling on the trunk of the tree. Hey, you're good. You got it. Because then it's easy for them to take them out. If Dr. King, if Malcolm X, if Medgar Evers, if all these other people went out there and they weren't really getting the support, the tangible, the fiscal support, the tangible support, the emotional support, the spiritual support, if they didn't have that going for them, they would have either been ineffective or they would have been taken out much earlier than they were. The only reason we had them for as long as we did is because of the rest of us that were out there in the trenches with them. And so it made it that much harder to get them. That's the first thing regarding the crown check. Second thing, one of the key lessons, because there's going to be a lot of talk and a lot of breakdowns about what happened with Corey and Anton, and we went into some of that tonight. One of the things that I really want us to also keep in mind, leaning more towards what Ant said, because he's definitely right on what he was getting at as well, too. You have to adopt the throwback marketing slogan of Under Armour. When Under Armour first came out, for the first several years, they built this brand. They got away from it over the years, but I really liked it and always stuck with me. We must protect this house. When you are inviting people, friend or foe, or in between undecided, onto your turf, that is your house. That is your home. That is your HQ. You have to protect it. That means you got to vet the people who's coming in around you, and especially if you have a platform, you have to be mindful of who it is that you're giving the mic and passing over to. Because like Ant alluded to, especially if it's a hostile, that is a very sensitive operation, like you do in neurosurgery. When you are handing them the mic, it better be to cut the head off the serpent, because if you F around and you miss it and I'm clowning yourself, you have now given them an opportunity to make themselves look better. They have turned the tables, and now you have made that their territory. That's their house now.
Yeah.
You have given them an access point to your viewership. And now your viewership is going to be walking away at best, feel like, dang, we just watched our hero get knocked out.
Yeah.
At worst, they're going to walk away with some brand new followers from your base. So you go ahead and you amplify them. It was a stupid quote that Peter Griffin said in a Family Guy episode when he was beefing with Lois and talking nonsense to her. But even though I laughed at it, I've always kept it in my mind because it was so powerful what he said. He said, I'm warning you, Lois, if you strike me down, I should become more powerful than you could ever imagine. You got to watch out for that.
Yeah.
You strike out and if you don't cut the head off the snake, you could serve as a launching pad to them and take it to the next level.
Yeah. Can't allow that shit, man.
They're messing your brand. And Ant mentioned a couple of cases where some of that has happened. But when that happens, because nobody's perfect, we all mess up. Yeah. When you have done that, it's important when you F up to fess up.
Yeah.
Take ownership. Don't try to hide and just try to pretend it didn't happen. Just erase the whole timeline. No. Hey, I messed up. I had somebody up here I didn't handle business, or I let them get away with X, Y, Z. Shouldn't have done that. That's my bad. That's not my brand. When you do that, you will save face, and you will also gain more followers, because that lets people know that they can trust you. They can trust what you're saying. You're not going to lie. You're not going to make yourself look good. You acknowledge your foul-ups, but you own up to it. That establishes trust. I can rely on this person where even if they get it wrong, I can still rock with them because I know that they're ultimately going to do the right thing, and that speaks volumes. Last point, and this will go towards Corey and other folks like him.
Yeah.
For the love of God. And this is no shade. I ain't shooting no shots at nobody. I hope it wouldn't get taken that way. If you know you have the skills to cut it in the 4-foot section of the swimming pool, but you know it gets a little in the 5-foot, you don't get out of your depth in 6-foot, my brother in Christ, my sister in Christ, please don't try to go out and swim out to the 10-foot section of the pool.
Don't do it.
There cannot be, and this is where some other folks and figures have messed up along the lines and have been their own undoing. This work that we're talking about, fighting for our people, advocating for ourselves, this cannot be a work that involves ego. Or rather, at least the ego cannot have the driver's seat. You can't do it. Ego is what will tell you that I'm fully capable of taking on this task that I have no track record for, I have no real experience in, and I have no wins behind. Like I said before, Anton is cool for a Jason Black to tackle, for a Professor Black Truth to tackle, for a Tariq to tackle, and some other figures. But if you know that you're just trying to get into this, you're trying to get to that level, that's advanced calculus.
Yeah.
Stick with your middle school, your high school algebra. Stick with that. Put your teeth there. And you'll eventually probably get to the point where you can go ahead and manhandle and roughhouse someone like that.
They'll get there.
But if today ain't the day, then damn it, don't try to make it the day.
Don't do it.
Don't do that. Do what you can do, not what someone else can do. And if you feel like you have the platform where you want to see that happen, like Major said, hey, call in reinforcements. I need backup. I need a heavy hitter.
He could have called one of us. Yeah.
Sometimes a hunter turns into the prey. Remember that.
Being resourceful doesn't mean, and this is key in life, period. Being resourceful doesn't mean that you have all the answers.
Yeah.
But it means if you don't have the answers, you know where to get them. Again, I don't know, but I get them chat GPT and I'm about to find out. Or I got a plug. I can call them up. I can get some game. I can phone a friend like it's Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. I know where to get answers. That's what being resourceful is about. It's not saying I have everything, but it's saying I know how to get everything.
Yeah.
So do that.
Yeah, that's where we are, man.
Yes, sir. We want to thank everybody for rocking with us tonight. We definitely wanted to get on this. This was a very hot subject. Definitely had social media and the internet blowing up. Even places that normally don't get a lot of heat were really spicing the cooking with this. We wanted to make sure that we put the Manversations touch on this. So we could really put this in its proper perspective. And as you see, you got a very comprehensive view from Major and myself. We believe we did it justice. We believe you feel the same way. If you like what you heard tonight, there's a bell icon up there. Go ahead and click that for the notifications. Make sure you get all of those, not just some of the personalized ones. We do not spam your notification settings. We don't do that. When it's time to go live with some raw heat, you'll be alerted so you can join us. You can pull up a seat, relax, and you can come and get some of this good game. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not. Double check, make sure YouTube has an unsubscribe. That happens from time to time. And of course, all that is good, but we love word of mouth. Make sure you tell somebody to tell somebody. Tell a friend, tell an enemy, tell a boss, tell an underling, tell your wife, tell your baby mama, tell your baby daddy, tell your repairman, whoever. Put them on game.
Shout out to everybody.
We will catch you all. Yes, sir. Shout out to all the folks that's up in there. The _ Great Pretender. Thanks to you, Chief We Hail, Joe Jet 5084, and all the others. Much obliged. Our YouTube fam, IG crew, Facebook mob. We love the support. Keep up with us. We're doing big things this year. We take it to higher and higher heights. We will catch you all next week, same time, same place. This gentleman down here, this is Anthony Malcolm. My guy over here, Major Gage, and I am Bobby Drake. And we are Manversations 2020, and it's also all about the you.
Yeah. All right.
Manversations. Man up. Manversations. Man up. Manversations. Man up. Manversations.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manversations. Man up. Manversations. Man up. Manversations. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manversations.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
You gotta eat what you kill. You gotta go out there. You gotta hunt for your meals.
We all have that ability to connect with people, to be that motivational person in somebody's life.
You gotta let people know there's certain lines you don't cross, and that there's gonna be consequences if you do.
Man up.
If you are an adult and you are in a relationship, that person's emotions are not your responsibility.
Man up. Manversations. Man up. Manversations. Man up. Manversations.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
The devil, during slavery, destroyed the masculinity or manhood of the so-called Negro. No man. Right now you got to be trained all over again to be a man.
When someone is obligated to do something, it is binding upon them to do it. And failure to do it causes reaction.
Man up.
Position make you rich. I don't have that type of richness. My richness is life forever.
If that people knew that glorious path, if that people knew that glorious path, if that people knew that glorious path, then they would be more inclined to respect themselves.
I'm not saying I'm going to rule the world or I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world. And that's our job, is to spark somebody else watching us.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manversations. Man up. Manversations. Man up. Manversations. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manversations.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
You want to tell me about yourself? Go get your friends. I'll tell you who you are based on who your friends are.
Don't just live and die. That's an ugly existence. Make your life matter. Make your life count. Live a life where people can actually mourn you for the things you left behind, not just because you were around and existed.
We need strong black nuclear families.
Yes. Yes.
That's what it is. Mother, father, son, daughter, all in the same house with a focus on the family unit as a whole.
We had Tulsa, Atlanta, New Jersey, Detroit. We had Rosewood. We had Black Wall Streets all over.
The Republicans aren't for us, but the Democrats aren't for us either. And we should have no alliance to any political party. We only have alliance to what is in our own best interest.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manifestation.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
At the end of the day, as men in the community, we must stand together and be counted because people look to us for guidance, leadership, and protection. And if we are not about that business, we are not on our job. Here we have grown-ass man conversations in the spirit of that purpose. Anthony Malcolm, Bobby Drake, Major Gage. We are. This is Manifestations 2020.
Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.